Alright, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. Hang on for the ride because this one is going to be fast and hard. Alright, listen. Witnesses give gripping account of the double murder that occurred. This same double murder, while they were in court putting up the pictures of the remains, certain people bust out a laugh so hard they had to cover their mouths because they were laughing so hard. Cold like Alaska in a winter, may I tell you. Yo, this whole Klansman One Done thing, may I tell you, is a movie. If you're not keeping up with this, then I don't know what else to tell you. But this is like reading and watching a well-scripted Hollywood movie because you tell yourself that this can't be real. Alright, shout out to the Gleaner. The woman who lost her life brutally in St. Catherine in 2017 in a murder arson was reportedly visiting her lover for the first time when gangsters allegedly aligned to the Klansman One Done gang kicked open the door and sprayed them with bullets before setting the house on fire. This is her first time she go see Bay, Her first time going to see Bay. And this what happened. Now, the revelation was made on Wednesday by a female relative of the male victim during her gripping and animated testimony in the home circuit court. My SouFLoTV audience, listen, I have to go into character for read on this one because this is going to be an extensive video. So if you want to pause right now, just pause and go roll up a spliff, fix a drink, something, and then go sit down and listen to this. All right, here we go. The victims, who were burnt beyond recognition and found huddled together in the rubble, were identified on Wednesday by their relatives as 27-year-old Sadella Walder and 25-year-old Jermaine Bryan. What we have heard was that they were in bed doing the something. Car peace come game, if you know what I mean. Right? And it is in the middle of the act that they were sprayed with bullets. They died just like that, stuck in the same position. The house was then set ablaze and they were burnt in that same position. Hence the reason why the victims were burnt beyond recognition, and when they found their remains, they were still huddled together in the rubble. They were identified on Wednesday by their relatives as 27-year-old Sadella Walder and 25-year-old Jermaine Bryan. Now, the court previously heard this testimony. Now, before I go any further, let me tell you something. So, earlier, if you're paying attention, there were testimonies that Blackman, the alleged leader of the Klansman gang. I have to say alleged because I don't know. I'm going off what the paperwork says. In court, they recently testified that he laughed when he got information. He would bust out a laugh like it's something that tickle him. It's something that make him, it gives him humor when murder goes right for him. Now, enough people would say that's a crazy friggin' person. That's a sociopath, psychopath, sadistic individual, right? Same scenario in this case. Keep paying attention, please. So they identified the two victims. The court previously heard that the couple was murdered by alleged One Done gang leader Andre Blackman Bryan himself and his bodyguard Tariq James. The thing about this, in the previous testimony, it said that Blackman could have sent people to do this, but him said, nah, him want that one for himself. Him a go over there go turn up the place. Remember the testimony where they talk about turn up over fisheries? Well, this is the place, fisheries, and this is the incident, the event. So the pictures are out now of the crime scene and all these things. Listen, the two were reportedly among two large groups of gangsters, which is Andre Blackman Bryan and his bodyguard Tariq James, allegedly. The reports are that they were among two large groups of gangsters. So him gather up a group of man, just like it said. Now this is corroborating the testimony that was given before, They gather up a group of man and went to the new nursery community in Twickenham Park on September 8th in the wee hours of the morning. in search of a man called Bubba Sparks, an alleged sharpshooter for Tesha Miller. So Bubba Sparks, now according to the paperwork, is one of Tesha Miller them gunman, right? And since Tesha and Blackman were warring, this is how the split came. This is how we end up with clans as the gang. Because we grew up, we hear about clans and one other, right? So clans as the gang, and now you have the one Don faction of the Klansman gang. That means that there was a split in the gang. Court papers are now saying, and legal documents are now saying, that Andre Blackman Bryan is the leader of the one Don, while Tesha Miller is the leader of the original clans. So apparently they were at war at this time, and Blackman is strategizing. So him see one of Tesha Miller sharpshooter them named Bubba Sparks, and him say, "I want to bust a boy the head." The reputed leader of the Klansman gang from which the one Don emerged. The witness who recounted what had happened on the night when the gangsters invaded the community told it in details in court. Told the court that at first she did not know who the female victim was, but later she discovered that she was Chrissy. She said, later me discover say Chrissy, you know, because I know her from she's a child. The woman told the court that none of her family members knew at the time that Walder was involved in a relationship with Jermaine Bryan, Chrissy Walder. Nobody knew that they were involved. She and Jermaine do them thing and nobody don't know. Matter of fact, this is the first time she ever came around that side where they live. It's the first time she visit, the witness said, noting that the last time me see her was 4 years ago. She also told the court that when she went to the murder scene, persons told her that Jermaine Bryan had brought the woman home after he came home from work that day. You know them say already, Jermaine a good youth, him have him job, him go work, and them thing there and him come back. However, before the incident unfolded, the witness said that she was in her bed about 3:30 a.m. And the witness are talking up. She was in her bed about 3:30 a.m. early morning. Them hours they when sleep supposed to get nice, when she heard dogs in the community barking aggressively, and she assumed that it was either the police that was coming through or it was gangsters who were invading their community. Now for someone who I gotta say, why would she assume it was gangsters invading her community? Because that's the type of community she lives in, duh. And she probably been through this before, and their community's probably been under the same scenario. Late night, early morning, dog a bark, next thing you know, a gunshot fire. Regular thing round there. So as me hear the door get kicked, me hear gunshots, she said, recalling that the shots rang out for a while. So I don't know, 1 shot them get, 2 shot them get. Now, when asked how she knows that the sound that she was hearing was gunshot, she replied under examination, and she said, "Me hear gunshots every day." So, me know a gunshot because me hear them every day. Like I said before, I surround you, so stay. As the gunshots rained down, the woman said that she climbed on top of a table in her home and she tried to look over into Jermaine Bryan's yard, and she observed 2 men that were standing at the back of Jermaine's fence with guns. If you think of this, so this is a woman attack. She actually described completely and fully. She told the court that one of the men was known to her as Frazzle. She got tell pan Frazzle, you know. She said that she recognized him because his bearded face, while she remembers that she had seen him the Saturday before. Me just see him sat there gone, is what she said. Me just see him sat there gone. Me know him good. Right? And me recognize him in the same beard, same face, same person when me see sat there gone, is what she said. Also, she said that he, the youth, Frazzle, was born in the community, so she know him well, before he moved to Jones Avenue in Spanish Town. Seeing? That man, she said, had a long gun, which she recognized as it was a similar weapon to the one that a next man known as Fugical used to parade with out in the open in the community. People, let me sideline for you a little bit. Remember me telling you, say, you know, there are communities where gunmen walk with them gun brawling, big, broad, and out. Yeah? And the residents in the community see this. So how can these residents not be fearful of these men? Because these residents are wondering, Ross, then I wish for police there. Because if them can walk out like this in the open with them big gun, yeah, nobody can call police. Police can't come fast enough. Nothing. Imagine how powerless the people inside of these communities must feel. Seeing? Alright, so the witness said that after the gunfire subsided, she said the other man had a handgun because it wasn't him that was by himself. She recognized the first one, and then the other one that was with him had a handgun. The witness said that after the gunfire subsided and the attackers left the community, she went outside and she saw Brian's home in full flames, a burned down. Now, while running towards his house, the witness said that she saw police personnel at her home, a fear gate. And she ran up there and she told them the incident that happened at Brian's residence. Yo, the place a burned down, you know, and a beer gunshot just beat over there. And the house up on fire. She said the police them turned around, they did not even go to the house that she pointed to and said enough gunshot just beat over there, a theme yard and the house up on fire. They left. They left and they did not go to the crime scene. She went to the crime scene. According to her, the board structure was already engulfed in flames and the fire brigade and other police were present in a short while after. I guess them policemen, they say, yo, it don't make no sense to go down there. Well, we are going to find. Call in the units and make them come handle this, right? While we probably secure the area, cordon off the area, get boots on the ground and try to figure out where the culprits went and so on and so forth. While things are fresh, who saw anything, you know, them kind of something there. So, me no know. I can't imagine them just, house up on fire, enough gunshot just beat and they just turned around. Maybe that was a part of their planned strategy, how they operate, who is responsible for what, that kind of stuff. So according to her, the board structure was already in flames. And then shortly after, the police and the fire brigades came. Following the cooling down exercise, she said, I'm not talk about spice, cool it down. I talk about cooling down the burning house. Because them have to go quench them flames here in order to get in to see if there's somebody in it. Following the cooling down exercise, she said, after them draw with the piece of zinc, me see the 2 piece of something, them. After them draw with the 2 piece of the zinc, me see the 2 piece of something, them. Me don't know if a body, cause everything burn off. The whole community come down and we look and them see a little open piece of penis. And so we know say a Jermaine. The woman said them couldn't recognize them as people or anything. The whole community come down and we look. And then we see a little one open piece of penis. That's her exact words in court, you know. Then we see one little open piece of penis. And so we know say it was Jermaine. That's what she said. She also testified that the community was once very peaceful before the gang rivalry started in 2004 between men from the community and those in Jones Avenue, which caused an exodus. The witness, who is unable to continue her testimony at that particular day, this testimony was given. The report says that because of previous engagements, she had to cut her testimony short, but she will be back to finish up this testimony. For those of y'all who don't know, as I go into the second part of this video, Andre Brian Blackman and 32 other alleged gang members are being tried on an indictment with 25 counts under the Criminal Justice Suppression of Criminal Organizations Act and the Firearms Act. The goal of the Jamaican government is to, as they say, to cripple a powerful crime organization, a notorious crime organization, and get these people off the streets. That's their goal. This is the reason why this trial is going on. Fast forward a little bit now. She'll give testimony in a court, you know. Listen to this. Next headline, shout out to Loop. Blackman laughs after the display of photos of the couple's remains. And he's laughing in court. The two bun-up people that they shot up and they were intertwined and locked up in bed when they were found charred. I've seen the picture. It actually looked like when you burn tree and the tree stump left and it lay down on the ground just like a big block of coal, except for it is in the shape of a human body. Anyhow, the action of Andre Blackman Brian, the alleged leader of the Wandan gang faction of the Klansman gang, raised eyebrows in court on Wednesday after he burst into laughter like the man wasn't smiling. According to court documents reports, he burst into laughter, loud laughter, while the photographs of the charred remains of a couple that the same gang allegedly killed was on display on the court screen, on the big screen in the courtroom. Now, I'm no fool and I'm not the wisest man alive, but if I was on trial for murder and them I say I'm the one that did this, the last thing I would want to do is to try to show any kind of I don't care attitude when they started posting the pictures on the big screen in front of us in the courtroom. Me would not look on that picture, they're like, Jesus Christ, that look bad. Is humans that? Who did that? Oh my God. Remorseful is what they were looking for. Instead, they got what they call weird. Like, why would somebody be laughing or bust out laughing when they see two human bodies burnt, charred, intertwined? Some of the 33 other defendants also chatted among themselves in hushed tones at the time, while others chuckled and laughed during the release of the images at the gang trial in the Home Circuit Court in downtown Kingston. Now, if I was to read this and follow what this is saying, these documents word for word of what is happening in the courtroom, because we're not there, this would sound like the boss laugh, so that means that everybody can laugh too. And then at a time when everybody was supposed to be paying attention to the screen, they were busy talking to each other. Like, them no business about none of that, dog. Them all do what them are going to do. Pay a lawyer, make a lawyer do what lawyers supposed to do. You kick back and relax and make the court people them do what them want to do. Me not even look on the screen. I feel them business that, right? That was the attitude that was given. The charred remains in the photograph were the remains of Jermaine Bryan and Cedella Walker, who were both shot in bed in an informal community called New Nursery and Fisheries in Spanish Town, St. Catherine in September of 2017. So if you not follow this thing here, you remember when the other witness said, yeah, I want to go turn up over Fisheries. Him say, yes, Blackman said personally, say him want to go over there, go do that one here himself and round up the man them and let's go. See? He even testified that people in the community knew that they were there from earlier during the day, but nobody never said nothing. Wow. So the house was subsequently set ablaze by the gangsters, witnesses testified, and the double murder was said to have been carried out by Brian himself and his co-accused Jazeel Blake, Dylan McLean, Brian Morris, Tariq James, Michael Whitley, and Fabian Johnson. These are all the names that are given in the paperwork. Remember, I know people, me not in there. So I don't know none of these people. So these names I'm reading straight off the paper. A forensic crime investigator who is also a detective corporal took the witness stand on Wednesday and led the prosecution through several photographs of the double murder scene, which included spent shell casings. Photographs were also displayed of what remained of the murdered couple, 2 skulls, and their burnt torsos. Like the witness said, everything else burned off. Shortly after, Presiding Judge Chief Justice Brian Sykes indicated that the trial would take a break because this was just too much to watch. So let's take a break and come back in about 20 minutes, is what the judge said. Whew, too much. It was at that juncture that Brian bust out a laugh, as if to say, your stomach weak, man. You can't take it. Them thing you know nothing for we dash your people and win a business. You look on burn up body and talk about let's take a 20-minute break. You know? That's what I would read from this. It was at the juncture when the judge says let's take a 20-minute break that Brian bust out of laughing, and then he looked around the courtroom. As he was busting out laughing, he looked around the courtroom and then put his hand over his mouth and then held his head down. Come on now. The man either that sadistic part of him came out and he couldn't catch it in time, because you know sometimes that part of your mind will say, you want to laugh out loud, but you have to hold it in because this is an inappropriate surrounding, right? Not this time. It slip out. So I'm just say what I'm say. When the judge said let's take a 20-minute break after seeing the pictures on the big screen, now mind you, there are other people in this courtroom at the time too. The mother of one of these victims gave a testimony as well. Interestingly, the photographs of the gruesome crime scene were still on display on the big screen at the front of the courtroom while Blackman bust out a laugh. Other accused persons also chuckled at the interval when Judge Celeste took a 20-minute break, and they started looking and staring at the members of the media that were present. May not even know, but this was kind of intimidating, right? Looking and staring at the members of the media. Now, during the trial last year, 2 former gangsters both now turned state witnesses and claimed that they were part of this alleged gang, told the court that Brian bust out in a laughter when he got confirmation that who he had allegedly ordered killed was in fact just murdered. He got the confirmation and it make him bust out a laugh. Now they got to see him bust out a laugh in person. You see where this is going? At an inappropriate time. The officer listen, right now, the best Brian lawyer can do is say, hey, my client has an issue, and him bust out a laugh when him get nervous. That's the best them can do. Him bust out a laugh when him get nervous. What else they can say? Because they can't have him there like, oh damn, my client just bust out laughing at this particular time. This is gonna be hard to sell. And remember, you know, this is not a jury trial, you know. This is a trial by judge only. So if this judge thinks, what the like this man a laugh now? When that up on the screen, when my stomach sick, this man is displaying a certain type of personality that shows exactly the picture that the prosecution is trying to paint. So the officer on the witness stand later continued his testimony, explaining that he was able to identify the victim as the man and a woman based on the breasts of one of the corpse and then the genitalia of the other corpse. Meanwhile, the mother of the deceased, this is how I get deep right here, so. The mother of the deceased. Alright, so meanwhile, the mother of the deceased man who was seen in the photographs later took the witness stand. This is how I get. Listen, this is his mom, you know, and she is there. And you laughing in the presence of a woman whose son is on screen looking like a big block of charcoal. Meanwhile, the mother of the deceased man, who was seen in the photographs, later took the witness stand. She explained that her son, Jermaine Bryan, worked at a chemical facility in Crossroads, St. Andrew, and he would usually spend his weekends with her, with mommy, or with the girl. Me no know. Maybe that's why they didn't know. I think he means with the mom. Now, when asked by the prosecutors if she knew the woman whose corpse was also shown in court, his mom said no, she didn't. She said that she was told by her son some months before his death that a girl love him off. Him have a girl will love him off. Another civilian witness took the stand on Wednesday and indicated that she was the mother of Cedella Walker, the girl. So both moms were here. The woman who was shot and burned to death in the bed with Jermaine, that's Cedella Walker, daughter. In tears, Cedella Walker, in tears, the mother told the court that she shared a close relationship with her daughter. Continuing, the woman said that she last saw her daughter on the morning before she was killed in that same night. She saw her on the morning of that day and her daughter get killed that night. They asked her if she knew whether her daughter was in a relationship with anyone, and the woman said that she wasn't aware of that, right? Probably one of those kind of relationships, or one of those kind of people that grow up a certain kind of way. Like some women and young girls and young women cannot bring a man home. Their families are still very traditional. Like if you're dating, it have to lead to marriage, and then marriage must lead to, introduction to the family first. Make we vet this person and then say yes, he's approved. So them not just carry home anybody them date. And 2021 them have Johnny come to the house, and then 2022 is Mark, and then 2023 is David, and every year she have a new man. They don't do that. So I don't know if this was the case, but her mom had no idea that she was in a relationship. Had never met the guy that she was found in bed with. The prosecutors then inquired if she saw her daughter's body at the funeral. At that point, the lady became emotional and she broke down. And she indicated that the casket at the funeral was closed. My baby had to have a closed casket, because nothing ever did if you look upon. It was horrible. Furthermore, she said that she could not face seeing her daughter in this condition, and that she said that if she had seen that, it would have been too much. So them left the casket closed at the funeral. Why would the prosecutor ask her, though, if you saw your daughter's face or if you saw your daughter, knowing damn well that the pictures just went up on the screen and you saw 2 lumps of charcoals of people? And you asked this lady if she see her daughter face or if she see her daughter. I mean, in a court of law, I could see why. Because they're trying to establish, are we 100% sure that you're the mother and that is definitely your daughter? Blah, blah, blah. I can't see no other reason why, other than to evoke emotions. But there's no jury there to impress. Anyways, again, they've all been charged with multiple offenses, including being part of a criminal organization, illegal possession of firearm, illegal possession of ammunition, facilitating conspiracy to murder, and facilitating arson. And I can be willing to bet that there will be first-degree murder charges on here added to this list of things as well, if these accusations are found to be true. Because a whole heap of murder them talk about so far. And I'm reading the charges, and it says facilitating conspiracy to murder. It didn't say first degree murder. So I wonder when that will get added to it. Anyhow, leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one, and I'll catch you on the next video. Hit that subscribe button and hit the bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified. This is video number 23. So we've been following this for a long time, from the beginning, and we are squeezing out every detail out of this so you know what what's going on when sentencing time come and all these other things. Don't miss your updates. Hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.